finally at the final step, sanding. So everything's been laid in, check the lines, make sure everything's looking good, cleaned off, dusted off. We're gonna sand now. We're not gonna dump the whole sand back out. We're gonna dump it out in like swooshy lines. Because what happens is if you dump it all out in one area, the sand ends up it's called grading itself. So the broom will move just the big particles around, and the fine particles will get stuck. So we'll get in the cracks, and the big particles will not. They'll stay outside. So we put the sand in, do this first base layer, fill everything in nicely. Then we compact it, run the compactor over it, settle the sand in the joints. And after that, we do a final clean off, final sand. It's very important to get the sand in all the different cracks and crevices and crannies. Do the snap edge too. If you don't have it here, then you have a point of failure where it can shift outwards, water can get in, the end can start creeping out like we talked about. You don't like it when it starts shifting outwards. Getting that nice. Tamping the pavers on the sand, it settles the sand in the joints because the sands are like Jenga pieces. When you jiggle them, they settle together and compact down a bit. So you'll see a difference for sure.
One thing to note is that while you do have to accommodate for some settling as you do this last compaction layer, and you do have to keep that in mind. If on a 7-inch step there, you think, okay, well I gotta raise my stone dust up to 6 and 5/8 inches or something of the sort, depending on how much you're raising it before and how thick your stone dust layer or bedding sand layer is. But this is to settle the sand in the joints. So don't count on your blocks dropping a crazy amount. Make sure you understand how much they're going to drop. But for example, against the asphalt walkway that we were talking about earlier, where we did not add basically any material because it was already level, it's not going to drop. So don't put too much stone dust in there or bedding sand and think that you're going to get a lot of compaction. Understand what compaction is going to happen and where. For example, I lifted one of the sides that had been sinking a lot to basically level, even though I wanted a slight slope on it. But I knew that because I was lifting everything so much on that one side, it was going to be coming down, giving me a nice crown so the water would flow off the sides and away from the house at the same time.
We are doing the final sand. Just filling up every last little crack and cranny. Then we're gonna dust it off with a blower and water it to activate the polymers in the sand. You wanna make sure that we're right below that chamfer of the brick. That's the bevel here. Be right tucked in under there, like this here. See that? Don't want to be over full. Don't want to be too under full as well. Right below that chamfer there. Right there. One thing I'm very passionate about is wet shoes tracking dirt on the sand, because that activates, the moisture activates the polymers, starts clumping and setting without being actually ready to go. Always make sure people wipe their shoes, keep their shoes clean, etc., etc. Water the sand to activate the polymers. What you do, you sort of dust it in a bit of water, then you go again, over it again with a little bit more water and let the water saturate a little further into the joints. Do about 10 square feet at a time. or hundreds, I don't know, a manageable area at a time. This water is very weak. So, small areas at a time. That is how it's done. Patio is fully relayed. So there's a slight slope, crown in the middle, so it slopes off to the side, and then a good strong slope away from the foundation. We graded the soil as well away from the foundation. Just watered the sand. Sand should be safe to walk on in 30 minutes, or rains, it shouldn't be messed up. I always say wait 24 hours before putting any furniture on or anything. So I always tell people, just wait, let it set, and we're good now. It's just there to be admired, and pretty impressed with myself. So